United States won, Ecuador also won. The U.S. men's national team and Ecuador clashed in Austin, Texas, and the game ended in a 1-1 draw. Ener Valencia scored for Ecuador, and Floating Balogun tied the game for the United States. And if Greg Berhalter was still in charge of the U.S. men's national team, I think he would call this a dominant draw. Now, jokes aside, what did we learn? Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And welcome to the 7 Things We Learned series, where every single game following a U.S. men's national team game, we tell you 7 things that we learned. Now, there's many more lessons, more than 7. You can let me know in the comment section, what did you learn from United States won? Ecuador also won. Now listen, I don't like to brag. Actually, I do. I love bragging. I brag a lot. But before this game happened, in the live watch-along and the preview, I predicted that the game would end 1-1. And guess what? I got it right. Almost as always. I usually get the predictions right, but this one, I nailed it. So make sure to drop a like in this video if you haven't already. Help us hit 1,000 likes. And this one is brought to you by SoRare, but more on that later. Let's play the intro and let's start with lesson number 1. Lesson number 1. This was actually by far the best U.S. performance under Mauricio Pochettino. I'm not exaggerating. It's pretty obvious. Just think about it. If you watched every single game under Mauricio Pochettino, this was the best performance. And mind you, against a very good opponent. Ecuador finished in 2nd place in World Cup qualifying in CONMEBOL. This is not a joke of opponent. Sure, they were missing Piero Hincapié. They were missing Moises Caicedo, their best player, one of the best players in the world, Gonzalo Plata. But the U.S. was also missing players. Pulisic came in as a sub because he was injured. Tyler Adams is not there. Anthony Robinson wasn't available. Serginho Dest. So overall, they were missing a few guys. We were missing a few guys. But throughout the game, the U.S. was the better side. It was 1-1, but if you had to pick one team to win based on the eye test and even the stats, the United States was the better team throughout this game. And I haven't been proud of the U.S. men's national team and their performances for a long time, but I kind of was for this one. I genuinely think we played well. Lesson number 2. Balogun is our best center forward, and once again, I feel like I keep repeating this very often in the USMNT Abroad episodes and previews and in other 7 Things We Learned video. He's our best 9, and it's not even close. Even if you want to talk about player profile, say, hey, Balogun might be a bit better than Pepe, but they're different player profiles. So maybe we should start Pepe under this situation. No. There's almost no situation, or there's pretty much no situation that you start Pepe over Balogun. And in this game, Balogun was dangerous on his own. He was actually a big threat in transition. Somehow, even his hold-up game was better than normal. He can combine better than Pepe. He's faster. Pepe is just a better poacher. So if you're playing against a low block and you're chasing a goal, you sub Pepe in. But the United States is more well-suited to play in transition. And if you're going to play in transition, it's Balogun by a wide margin. And if you don't play in transition, it's still Balogun by somewhat of a wide margin. Let me put it this way. The gap between Balogun and the other center forwards, which number 2 would probably be Ricardo Pepi, it's as big as the gap between Pulisic and the other wingers. Okay, that's not to say Balogun is as good as Pulisic. I don't think he is. I think Pulisic's a better player. But Balogun is most certainly our 2nd most dangerous forward. And yes, I'm going to say this again. There is no scenario, unless Balogun is injured, that you start Pepe over Balogun. Or Haji, or Sargent, Ajiman. He wouldn't start anyway, but you get the point. Lesson number 3. If everyone is healthy, I don't think McKennie is a starter for the U.S. men's national team in the World Cup. And understand, McKennie is a player right now for the U.S. men's national team where he can play multiple different positions. He's super useful. He can play as an 8. He can play almost as a 10 or an attacking midfielder. He can play as a left wing back, a right wing back, a right midfielder. So he will play. He'll come off the bench and he'll play a lot. And if there's an injury crisis, he can fill in wherever you need. But just think about this for a second. The wing backs, if everyone's healthy, it has to be Anthony Robinson and Dest. The attacking midfielders, if you play like a 3-4-2-1, it has to be Tillman and Pulisic, right? And if it's a 3-4-3, then it would be like Weah and Pulisic or whatever. So he wouldn't start there. The 8 position or the central midfield. If we go full-on healthy USMNT, Tyler Adams starts, probably Tessman. Tessman was actually quite good. I thought Aiden Morris wasn't good this game, but I thought Tessman was good. Johnny's another option, right? So if everyone is healthy, I don't think McKennie starts. And I didn't think McKennie played that well this game. But there's definitely a role for him with the U.S. men's national team regardless. And you know what? Sometimes versatility is a curse. I know some people see it as a good thing, but when it comes to being a locked-in starter, sometimes it's a curse. I mean, ask James Milner. Okay, now before we continue, a quick word from the sponsor of this video, SoRare. Now, if you're an NBA fan, you're going to want to stick around. So, the NBA season is going to start very soon. And SoRare actually also has NBA virtual cards. They don't only have the soccer leagues. And with the season starting soon, what are you waiting for? Unlike other fantasy games where it's pay per play, in SoRare, you pay to get the players you want permanently as virtual cards. And then you can play multiple times using those cards, at least until the player retires. You can win real money, sign jerseys, game tickets, and much more. And if you're new to SoRare, you can sign up with the link in the description of this video, and you will get a special offer of 50% off your first few purchases, valid up to purchases of $300. Essentially a one-time $150 welcome bonus. Thank you very much, SoRare. Link will be in the description of this video, and you know, could be fun to play some NBA games on SoRare. All right, we are back. Hopefully you're still here around with us. Make sure to drop a like in the video if you haven't already. Lesson number 4. We need to adjust and adapt, whether that's coming from Pochettino or the players. And let me explain. The first 5 minutes of the game were when we were actually poor. Ecuador started with a very aggressive press for the first 5 minutes, which obviously they couldn't keep it up for the whole game. And the U.S. men's national team kept trying to play out of the back. And it started to get a bit shaky. If it was a team that had better forwards, because we talked about how Ecuador has an incredible defense, but the forwards aren't great, right? They struggle to score goals. Ener Valencia is still a starter for them. He even scored, a 37-year-old Liga MX forward. So we didn't adapt. If you're playing out of the back and our goalkeeper's not good with his feet, even our players are not the best with his feet, the center backs, you need to adjust. Just go long, go direct, play route one football until the opponent stops that insane press. We can't just be married to this style of play where we don't adapt and adjust. If we're in the World Cup in the knockout rounds and France, or even though we probably would lose to France anyway, but if France starts with an aggressive press, you have to adapt. Because if they steal the ball in the final third, we're screwed. It's not going to be like Ecuador, right? They have Seredue, Dembele, Kylian Mbappe. We would be screwed. So adapt. In the World Cup, we would have gotten punished, and it could have started a 1 or 2-0 lead early for Ecuador, and then you're pretty much out. Like, you're not going to recover from it. Lesson number 5, going with a back 3 and wingbacks is the way for the U.S. men's national team. Now, I've talked about this actually for years. I think that's how we should play, a back 3, wingbacks. It suits A-Rob, it suits Dest. In this case, kind of Arfston as well, because he's really bad on defense, even though I don't think he offers that much on offense either, but that's a different discussion. But I talked about how we should play in transition. That's another thing that's important, right? I made an entire video. You can go check that out of how you can fix the U.S. men's national team. I broke down the phases of play, the tactics. You can go check out that video. Maybe the link will be in the description. If not, just find that video, how to fix the U.S. men's national team that we made. It's recent. But playing with the back 3 with wingbacks allows the wingbacks to provide the width, and you also don't overexpose the center backs. When they provide the width, that allows players like Tillman or Pulisic, when he's on, to tuck inside and create through the middle. So instead of going the full Berhalter ball in the past, remember, which I made the joke that was like Christianity ball, that you just cross the ball and pray, you are creating through the middle, through central positions, and you still have the width where the fullbacks, or the wingbacks in this case, can get the ball into the box, combine. Serginho Dest would be more combination play, A-Rob probably run and cross. So overall, a back 3 with wingbacks is the way to go. And if you think about it, the best performances under Pochettino were when we played a back 3, which was later in the game against South Korea. We weren't great that game, but we were better once we played a back 3 later in the game. Against Japan's B or C team, we played better with a back 3. And then now against Ecuador, a very good opponent. So 3-4-2-1, 3-4-3, whatever you want. Probably more of a 3-4-2-1. So you don't have the wingers. You have the more like attacking midfielders. Regardless, you get the point. Lesson number 6 is a quick one. If Pochettino really wants to have Roldan in the World Cup roster, so be it. Bring him as the 26th player, but honestly, just stop giving him minutes at this point because you know he's a player that cannot contribute on the field in the World Cup. Like, we can't be playing Roldan in the World Cup, please. But if he's very useful off the field for his eyes and vibes and how he's a leader and committed and a great guy, just, okay, bring him as the 26th player. I'm getting tired of it. I'm not going to keep arguing against it, but just stop giving the guy minutes at this point. It's a waste. Test other players. It just doesn't make sense anymore. Lesson number 7 is that this game was actually quite encouraging. And let me tell you mainly why. It's not because of individual player performances, the tactics. It was mostly encouraging because of the change in attitude, body language, and behavior of the players on the field. Very often we question the commitment of these players because this U.S. men's national team has looked anemic for years under Berhalter and then under Pochettino early on. But this game, I saw some fight in them. In a friendly. It was a friendly game, but I saw fight and grit with these specific players. There was a clear change in the attitude of this team. Now, you may be wondering, so what are you saying? Did Pochettino fix the culture? Maybe. And if he did, credit to him. Let's see how this team plays against Australia. Let's see how we do next camp. But maybe, and credit where it's due, because Pochettino has been heavily criticized, there is a slight chance, or a big chance actually, it might be true, that he fixed the culture within this team. And if he did that, credit to him. Because the behavior, the body language, the attitude in this game was completely different from what we have seen over the past 12 to 24 months. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. Do it right now. Help us hit 1,000 likes. And thank you, SoRare, for sponsoring this video. Link is in the description if you want to play with a special offer. Now, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys on Sunday for the USA U20 quarterfinals in the U20 World Cup against Morocco. And I'll see you also on Tuesday for USA versus Australia, the live watch along. We're going to do the full coverage of that game as well. Thank you for watching and have a great day.